Hi there, welcome to my channel. In today's video, I'll be discussing about how we can create a project in Visual Studio Code and how to create a Dockerfile and how we can have a Docker image and how we can put it to our Amazon ECR, and then from the ECR, how to basically before how we can create a repo and we can put our images, and then how we can deploy in the ECS. So it will be three, four videos I'll be putting in parts. So we will just start with the Visual Studio Code, how we can efficiently use the Visual Studio Code rather than going to the Docker desktop interface and just utilizing it from there. So I'll just show you how handy is Visual Studio Code. So nothing to worry about, how it's just a beginner. So if you are not having any basics, if you're not having any idea about what Docker and how we have to use it and all, so I'll just make it easy. I will just use it the Visual Studio Code, and I will show you how we can use this ID efficiently rather than going to the Docker like uh, terminal, or from that terminal how to create the images and all without writing any much code. So we can utilize this Visual Studio Code. So before starting, make it sure you have the Visual Studio Code available with you. And before you start, so I'll be creating a .NET project, .NET Web Application, ASP.NET Core. So before that, just a quick intro about the Docker. So it's a platform that enables developers to automate the deployment of applications inside some lightweight, you can say a portable container. So it is like a virtualization that helps you to isolate the application, and we can replicate this around different environments. So again, I'm telling you, we are just not keeping it stick to the Docker, just each and everything we are touching we'll start with the Docker, then what are the basic things that we can do it in the Docker, pulling the base image, add this. I will show you with a few Docker commands and what are the things that we can do it in ECR, why it is being used, and what are the benefits. And then we will have a very comparison, whether to use ECS, that is the Elastic Container Services, or EKS, Elastic Kubernetes Services. So which one is better, why it is better, and which one is easier to use it. So, and what are the stacks are being ran, load balancer, health checkups, and all, everything is done. So we'll go through it one by one. So let's start. So those who are not having this Docker install, I will recommend them to install this Docker desktop. So these are the steps mentioned over here. What are the system requirements? And you can download for the desktop, and you can just double click and install it. Make it sure you have WSL2, that Windows Subsystem Linux installed, or we have to enable Hyper-V, then only you can utilize this. Otherwise, it won't work. So once it is installed, make it sure you make an account with the Docker Hub. So it will be easier to share the credentials, and it will be essential to push your Docker image to the Amazon ECS, ECR, that is the Elastic Container Registry. So that credentials we can easily pass it from our Docker desktop to that in order to authenticate basically. Okay, so you can So you can see this is the Docker Hub. You can create an account over here for installation. If you face any difficulties, you can just follow the steps over here. So make it sure that it is WSL2 backend we have, that is for the Windows. So once it is successfully installed, you will be getting like this. So you'll be having your login over here, and it will be showing you what are the containers, what are the images you're having, what are the volumes and all, and environments and all. So no need of installing the Kubernetes extensions. So if you go to the extension, you can go here, you can see we can have a full cube space. So these are the extensions that we can add it. For the time being, it's not required. So just you can have a look in the general, you can see uh, use system settings, Docker engine. So we can restart, and this is the version that is working. and we have over here Kubernetes. So I haven't enabled it. So for the time being, we don't need this. So when we have a separate session on Kubernetes, I will show you that time. Anyhow, that is the orchestration tool that we have. So I'm not covering this one now. I will just cover up the Docker, ECR, and ECS. So let's go back to this one. Okay, now coming back to the Visual Studio. So this is the Visual Studio code. So before we start, make it sure we have the few extensions being added. Like my project will be in .NET, so I need this C#, C# Dev Kit, and Docker in order to use the Docker. So once you install these extensions, you can see a Docker symbol will come over here. You can utilize this. You can see these are the containers that are running, and these are the images that we have. Now you might be wondering, what is this images, what is this registries and all, what is this volume, what is this context, and what is this network? So nothing to worry. Let's go back to the basics. So I have prepared some document, like what an image is, the first thing. So but it is a standalone executive package basically we are preparing that will help us to like it's including the code, libraries, and everything. It's like a just a package, like just a NuGet package, and similarly it is creating a package that will help you to deploy your application. If you're familiar with the like we can have a zip file also, then we can use a web deploy to deploy those packages if you're using ASP.NET. Even if in case of Java, you can use Ant, you can use Maven package. Basically, those are in jar, or we can have var in case of Ant and all. So we can utilize this. So next one is the container. So it is the running instance of a Docker image. Now, if you see over here, this is my Docker. So you can see how many containers are running over here. So currently I have one container that is running on this port, internal and external. So that is running, and these are the images. Now, once this image is, suppose if you are downloading some image from the Docker Hub, then it will remain in your system so you can utilize it whenever you want it. So if you want to completely remove it, you have to come over here and delete it. Same interface, you can utilize it from the Visual Studio Code. So these are the images shown over here. So you need not to go to this Docker and then check it while developing any project or developing any application. So we can efficiently use this interface. So this registry is there. Currently, I will not talk about this registry. Basically, it is the ECR that we need to connect, and we will push our image that is being created to the ECR. So I will start with, first I will create a project first, then I will discuss few basic commands of the Docker. So now in order to create a .NET project, so I will just write it over here. .NET, you can use anything. It's basic HTML page also, you can create it, and you can have your own server, whichever you want. So web hyphen name. I'm putting over here my app. Okay. Then I will mention over here, I'll just go to the my folder. Okay, now in this one, I can just write .NET Run and .NET Build. So I'm just writing .NET Run. So it will build the project also. So you can see it's building the project. So let me show you first just a sample application. You can see over here. If you want to go to this interface, you can see this is my app. This project is being created and it is building now. So it is being hosted on port number. It is listening on port number 5096. So I'll just copy this one. I'll go to the browser over here. So here we go. So our application is working. Hello world. So this is the basic template. Now, I haven't discussed anything about the Docker and all. Now, this is our just a basic application. Now, what we have to do, we have to jump to the Docker. So in order to create an image and all, we have to use this terminal. So I'm just using Control C to shut down my application from working. Now the basic commands are there. Like first of all, let's say Docker info. So it will give you the system information. So these are the information that are coming over here. Laptop, blah, blah, blah. This, it is having a subsystem, Linux, and all those things. Library Docker. So these are all the details are coming. Then we can check over here, Docker version. So our Docker version, you can check it over here, 24.0.6, the desktop one. Okay, now next thing, if I use it over here, Docker login, so I'm already logged in. I hope it doesn't ask me for login. So if you are already signed up here in this, using this Docker hub, it will not ask you for this. Okay, now coming to the, if I want to check how many containers are running, Docker PS, it will show you the running containers. I will just give you the list of the commands. You can see this is the container ID and this is the image being used, and your command, this is the that is being used in order to run, and these are the ports 5147 being used, and this is the basically the template that is being used in order to run this particular container. So you can see under Docker, you can see this is the container, demo ECS latest Jolly Herman. This is the by default template from the Microsoft. And you can see the image, demo ECS. This image is available. So if I delete this container by using rm command, so I can again run it. So nothing to worry about this particular image if it is not being, if it is being removed. Anyhow, I will just show you from the beginning. So I'm not going into details of this. You can just right click and you can stop and we can remove it. Then if you want to run, you can just right click, run. So this is very, very easy interface rather than, remembering the command like Docker stop, Docker exit, Docker container execute IT web server. If you want the bash, then Docker images. So you can just have a quick look over here, Docker images. Oops. So it is one of the same thing it is doing. So it's quite easy interface. So no need to remembering the commands and all, getting, puzzled what to do and what not to do. Now this is the main purpose. Now, if I go back to my code, so you can see there is nothing mentioned over here like something like a Docker or something like that. So now I want to create an image of my existing project. So what I will do, I will use Control Shift P. You can go from here also. You can see command palette, Control Shift P. Now here I will run the command Docker add. So when I type it over here, Docker add, it say, okay, add Docker compose file. Basically, the compose file contains like what is the base image and what are the ports and all the details. So once I choose this one, Docker add, so my project is .NET Core. You can select other technologies, whatever you want. I'm choosing over here Linux. 5096 is the port. Okay, let it be the same, enter. So you can see it is activating some extensions that will help to create the Docker file. It will take some time. Okay, now you can see over here the Docker file has been added over here. And we have this Docker compose file also here. So that will, in order to set up a your application, we can utilize this. For us, this is the important file. So this is the Docker file that is being created from MCR Microsoft .NET ASP.NET 6.0 as a base working directory. What is being getting exposed, environment variable, add the user. So this is what getting created automatically. So you need not to worry to create this file. Okay, now our Docker file has been added automatically. You can see over here, these files getting automatically added. The next one we will add, we have to uh, build the image. Okay, again, we can just go to the Control Shift P command palette. So next, after adding the Docker file, next thing is build the image. So you can see it has started building the image. Okay, so you can see this particular image was not there. It is being pulled from that particular location. So nothing to worry. So it will do automatically. Okay, now it's still running. In the meantime, we can go and check. So here you will get the list. It will take some time. You can keep on refreshing this area. Okay, that's it. So we got this ECS demo. So docker.io library ECS demo latest has been created and it is here. This is the one that is being created a few seconds ago. Now you can see there is no container over here. So we can just right click on this. Sorry, we can select this latest and we can just run Docker. You can see no need of remembering the command Docker run. So you can see this. So this is the container that is being created. So let's check it. We will go to the Docker desktop and this is the containers and you can see over here we have this ECS demo latest 5096 port. It is being running. So if you browse it, here we go. So this is how it is working. Now if you want to stop it, you can stop it from here. So or else you can, the good thing about this Visual Studio Code is that if you want to stop it from here, so if I put it over here, stop, so you can see the commands that are being executed in the terminal. So it's not shown over here, but normally it is being shown. It is being stopped, so you no more it is there. So if I want to run it again, so I can run it. You can click Run Interactive, so you can see how we can run. So it is done. So if you want to stop, again, you can stop, restart, open in the browser. So these are the things that we can do it. Now, thing is that if I delete, now remember this ECS demo is our image that is being created. So this is what we are going to push to our AWS Elastic Container Registry that I will show you in the next video. So we have to create a repo and then we have to push it. So if you remove this image, So we need to build the image again. So just remember a few things. I will, if you want, I will share the document if you want it, like the basic commands and how to utilize this. And always remember uh, Docker add in order to add the Docker file, in order to build the image, Docker build. Then that's it. You can use rest, you can use the interface quite easily. So these extensions are very important that you need to add it. Then only you can make your Visual Studio Code quite handy without working. So even you can check there are no volumes are being added. Now this is separate, like storage if you want to add it and all. So this is the networks that we have. That is the host and all. And once you connect to the registry, it will show you the registries also to which uh, registry it is being connected. Okay, so I hope you got a little bit idea about what Docker is and how we can run a container and how we can create an image. So you can take any project, you can start with any of the project, you can start with a normal HTML, and you can have a Apache server, you can have Nginx, whatever you want, you can just utilize any one of them. Just create a project and just run, just you create a folder, create some HTML files, and just add one uh, Docker file. Then you can choose which technology it is, build your image, and just deploy it. That's it. So later on, there are many things are there, like if your applications are having multiple, like a front end and the back end, separate containers are there. For that, we have to use this file over here, that is a Docker compose. So these things I will not talk about in the upcoming videos, 4 videos. Maybe in the advanced, I'll be talking about this particular compose, how we can have it. So I hope you like my video. Please do like, share, and subscribe to my channel. Thanks for watching.